that for the first time as South Africans, let's remove stooge leaders. Let's allow those that are running this economy to come to the front and run it themselves. Oppenheimer, President, Nick, and Rupert, Prime Minister. Let them run this country and we can hold them accountable to the resources that they're holding in their hands. But for us to be happy with a black face that is hoofing around the building, yet the real man who is running the business is sitting in the corner, I think we're messing it up altogether. So let's give these guys an opportunity. Maybe it sounds unpopular, but let me say it, and maybe the first one to say it. Let's stop working with ANC or EFF or DA stooges. Let's find the people who are owning the economy to come forward and be accountable to us as a nation as to what are they doing with their resources. Because this whole thing of working, you think you're dealing with America, you think you're dealing with France, but how come even when a president changes, the agenda does not change? Why? Because there's a stronger backbone of financial muscle through IMF, which is managing. The crisis in Zimbabwe came from IMF through ASAP, Economic Structural Adjustment System. Was a full program that Zimbabwe accepted from the IMF. Where did it lead us? It collapsed the whole economy, closed companies and jobs and etc. And then we ended up becoming a basket case to go and beg for them to fix the problem that they had created. So when you look at the African continent in its totality, struggling constantly to win themselves away from this colonial muscle. Now they come around with a beautiful thing. They're going to teach us democracy. They're going to teach us how to manage ourselves. They're going to be showing us how best to run countries. But how can you be teaching me democracy when you're the same one who was killing me? How can you be teaching me human rights when you're not practicing the human rights? Are sanctions not a crime against humanity? When you refuse people medicines, you refuse them clean water. You look at Niger. You want my minerals. You want my uranium. You want my minerals. And then you still want to come and kill me. There are deposits of uranium and radioactive material that France has left lying on the ground. It's a global cry. No one talks about that. The Chad Dam is drying up. No one is talking about that. The Americans put their base in Niger to manage the ECOWAS, but no one is talking about that. The young man comes out, Tory, and says, enough is enough. Let's close this thing up. You want uranium? You're going to put a power station here. Then I can switch it on and switch it off when I want to. That's power for me. And when you begin to look at politics like that, my one statement and comment I would want to pass to Africa, starting off with ECOWAS, this is for Benin, this is for Guinea-Conakry, this is for Mali, this is Burkina Faso, this is Cameroon, and all of you guys who are in that one belt, as of now, become one country. Consolidate your military power together. The problems of Niger are the problems of Burkina Faso. The problems of Burkina Faso are the problems of Mali. And they are just transferring the same rotten apples from one country to another. So I would think that these countries that are directly affected, particularly the 6 countries that have gone through coups, I wish those 6 army generals can actually come together and create one country so far. And then chase away the American and the French influence in their own countries. Because that is the problem at the center of it all. America does not want Russia to come in. So they will destabilize the country to make sure that Russia is overstretched in terms of its resources. We now know the war is not about anything. The war is about resources. And again, I say, if Africa is not careful, that Americans will give guns to ECOWAS and France will give guns to ECOWAS. And ECOWAS takes those guns to go and kill people in Niger. We're back to square one, where a black African brother is holding a gun to shoot another African brother based on an American and a Frenchman who is sitting in their countries drinking tea. So while we as Africans are sitting in the graveyard and crying for the passing away of each other, the Americans and the French are at the bank signing checks as to what are the spoils of war. We will be fools as Africans if at this day and age we still don't see the enemy that is standing amongst us in the form of America and France and colonization. In whatever form it comes, unity is our solution. Divided we fall, united we stand.